Planet of the Apes. Easily one of the greatest sci-fi series of all time and my personal favorite. With the release of the original film in 1968, Ape Mania swept the world and lasted well into the 1970s. This led to sequel films, comics, toys, an animated series, and even a short-lived TV show. And it's this highly underrated TV series that we are here to discuss in this retrospective. It also just happens to be my favorite sci-fi show of the 70s. I will also be discussing the Planet of the Apes timeline, as well as some theories where the series takes place within this deep, complex continuity. In Planet of the Apes, the series tells the story of 3 astronauts approaching Alpha Centauri in the future year of 1980. They hit a time warp and crash land on Earth in the distant future. Spoiler, I know. I'll stand in the corner of shame later for that. And the 2 surviving astronauts, because it's an apes film, you know part of the crew doesn't make it, find themselves in a strange world where apes rule and humans are third-class citizens. The 2 befriend and go on the run with an inquisitive chimp named Galen, who I believe is an ancestor of Cornelius from the film series. And thus, we have the setup for the show. The 3 travel from place to place trying to find a way home for our astronauts whilst avoiding the less than friendly gorillas and helping folks along the way. Kind of a precursor to the Incredible Hulk series from later in the 70s. It's also very worth noting that there was a fairly strong continuity, with earlier events being referenced and minor characters recurring. Though the series lacked the budget of the movies, they put their all into it and each episode felt like watching a little movie. So much so that several episodes were edited together to make 5 different TV movies. The series ran from September to December of 1974 on CBS for 14 episodes, and 13 of said 14 episodes were actually aired, each of which cost around $250,000 to make. So when the ratings weren't what they should have been, the show was canceled. And the series starred Roddy McDowall.
And I'm all out of bubblegum.
Nope, wrong Roddy. That's the one. And he played Galen, the chimp who befriends the astronauts and ends up going on the run with them. McDowall was an absolutely wonderful actor with an exceptional career in several notable genre pictures, including The Black Hole, Laser Blast, and probably his second most iconic role, Peter Vincent in the Fright Night films. But his most iconic role, of course, is that of Cornelius and Cornelius' son Caesar in the Planet of the Apes series. Roddy would appear in every film except Beneath the Planet of the Apes. He was in Scotland at the time directing folk horror film Tam Lin. Next we have Ron Harper as Alan Murden, one of the stranded astronauts. Harper was a film and TV actor who also appeared on the 3rd season of Land of the Lost as Uncle Jack. Hopefully I'll be able to find some footage of that, but if not, you'll be seeing whatever it is you're seeing right now. Because I write these scripts before I look for the footage. Probably not the best way to do that. Then we have James Naughton as Peter Burke, the second of our astronauts and kind of the comic relief of the series. Don't get me wrong though, it's a serious show, but there are a few one-liners from Burke that feel quite natural. Naughton was an actor of both stage and screen as well as a director. He didn't do much in the world of sci-fi, which is what this ramshackle channel is all about if you're new here, but he did appear on an episode of Warehouse 13. Next we have a true standout cast member in an already standout cast, and that's Mark Lenard as Urko, a gorilla on the hunt for the fugitive humans and their chimp buddy and the recurring villain of the series. Lenard is probably no stranger to snack bar patrons, having played Spock's father through multiple pieces of Star Trek media, including films, TV, and the animated series. He was also the first actor to play a Romulan, a Vulcan, and a Klingon. Urko really is one of the best things about the series, and after having watched the entire thing in full, I only saw a handful of episodes in my youth, I think I'm going to get controversial here and say that Urko is my favorite Planet of the Apes villain. But hey, I gotta give the angry randos something to be angry with me about this weekend. And finally, I wanted to mention some great minor roles, including Booth Coleman, Royal Dano, Roscoe Lee Brown, and snack bar favorite Percy Rodriguez, who I discussed in my Genesis 2 retrospective.
20th Century Fox wants you to go ape.
Now, from Planet of the Apes, exciting, lifelike figures. Move them, position them. Help Galen and the astronauts escape. And from Star Trek, voyage into the unknown with Mr. Spock and the crew from the Enterprise. Will they defeat the dreaded Klingon? It's up to you. Planet of the Apes and Star Trek, exciting lifelike figures, new from Palitoy.
And now we get to what I'm sure some of you are here for, and the part I've been most looking forward to discussing. And that's the continuity of the series. Where does it take place? When does it take place? Is it canon at all? And I say that it is. And there are two main theories as to where it fits in, each placing it within the two different timelines. But one thing is certain, it does not take place after the first film like many say. It is actually a prequel, so I'm going to jump in here from the future. Upon further research and debate, it's most likely that the series takes place in the year 3085, close to 900 years before the first film. Alright, back to Past Me now. The astronaut mentioned by Zaius was not Taylor, and this is a completely different Zaius. A relative, perhaps. But first, I need to talk about the two different timelines. The first timeline is the one you see in the first two films. In the year 2050, a spaceship brings a virus back to Earth. The virus then wipes out the dog and cat population, but doesn't seem to affect humans or primates. This isn't true. The virus causes the apes to begin to evolve in both form and intelligence. You know, the exact opposite of what happens when you watch this channel too much. And also, humans begin a very slow decline. Hundreds of years pass, the apes rise up, man falls, the first film happens. That's when good old Taylor arrives from the past and changes everything. His ship is taken back in time by three chimps, and the past is rewritten and a new timeline is formed. In this new timeline, the virus comes to Earth much sooner. Under the leadership of Caesar, the apes rise up hundreds of years early. But in this new reality, the apes and humans eventually learn to live together, and the virus, as far as it is known, does not seem to affect the humans. So, where does the series fit? Theory 1 states it takes place within the original timeline. The two astronauts land in a world where humans are inferior to apes, but the full mental regression has not taken place yet. Theory 2 states it takes place within the rewritten timeline, thus the humans still being able to speak and live in a more civilized manner. And though there was a peace between the humans and apes before, it's just slowly grown strained over the years. And once again, humans are lower in the pecking order. As to which theory I believe, I'd have to go with the first, for there's some pretty compelling evidence there. A book found in the TV series seems to confirm this, showing a New York that could not have existed in the rewritten timeline. But do let me know which of the two theories you prefer, or if you have theories of your own. And a big thanks to the Comics Unlimited Apes timeline, which was a huge help in researching this episode. I'll make sure and link that below. Unfortunately, this is a series without much fanfare. It did, though, receive a DVD release in the UK, which I have and highly recommend if you have a region-free player. And that's all the time we have for this little mini documentary about a great sci-fi series that deserves far more attention. Please like, comment, subscribe, let me know your theories on the matter, and stay atomic.
Roddy McDowell, Ron Harper, and James Martin star in Planet of the Apes.
The way we see civilization regenerating itself is with the apes, of course, at the top. The center of government is Ape City, where there are just a few humans who work as clerks and servants. Most of the humans live in comparatively rural communities. There are many special and difficult production problems. Foremost is that of the ape makeup. It takes close to 4 weeks to get an ape made up.